I could list you a ton of players that really didn't have a career. And then we grab and say, hey, if we add some marketing.
Prodigy wasn't the best with promoting.
No, there's a lot of people that like suck.
What's up, Degenerates? I'm Jefferson, half of the disc golf world, and today I finally get to talk about how delusional Prodigy is. Strap in, this should be a fun one. Before we get into all of that, big thanks to everyone supporting over on the Patreon. If you want more unfiltered disc golf content, head over there. You might have read the title of the video and thought, well, no duh. But after some interviews from new Prodigy CEO Will Schuestrick, former sponsored player Isaac Robinson, and even Bob Giulio from Discraft, I just had to share my thoughts. To my surprise, Prodigy had a few contradicting points to the others. And then there were the comments that made me spit water out of my mouth like some sort of basket made by Prodigy. I highly recommend watching all of these interviews for the full context if you haven't already, but I will be sharing the important clips, so at least you know where I'm coming from.
I could list you a ton of players that really didn't have a career. And then we grab and say, hey, if we add some marketing, we support them a little bit if they can go out on tour. You give them a signature disc, which doesn't cost the company a lot of money. If they sell a lot of discs, that's great.
Most of you should be aware of Prodigy's backstory. Once having, honestly, a legendary team with some of the biggest players in the sport, and yet everyone who didn't choose stock in the company dipped out pretty early, and then others just sold later on. Maybe when a world champ doesn't get one of those cheap signature series discs, they don't want to stick around. There's plenty more reasons than just that, and maybe we'll touch on those some other day, but for now, there's one big problem I have with Prodigy's approach. And to me, it's clear why no one would want to stay on the team.
We've signed all the players. We've had them on our team. They were the world champion, US champion, top followed players. Like, was that reason why it translated into sales? Like, I don't believe that it did. Like, a lot of people and people that we talked to were like, hey, you guys should sponsor more players. It's like, we have the world champion. What do you mean sponsor more players? Who else are we going to sponsor?
I hope Will knows there has to be some sort of marketing to sell more discs than just put name here. Or maybe he really thought they were doing a good job at promoting Isaac. And actually, he said something along those lines.
Are there other players out there where could the sponsor look at that player and be like, oh, if we sponsored them, we could take them to the next level and really make them a lot of money and make us a lot of money?
Yeah, I think we actually did do that for a few years. I mean, there are a lot of players that, look at obviously the Robinson brothers. I mean, they were on our team since they were like 13 or 14 years old.
Now let's compare that to what Isaac said on the Upshot.
It sometimes feels like Prodigy just like didn't do the basic bare minimum of like promoting its players beyond like saying here's a disc.
Prodigy wasn't the best with promoting. They never had a consistent social media team. They have almost no YouTube presence. You know, it's hard to build brand awareness and like people don't fall in love with the players necessarily because you're not promoting.
Call me crazy, but I really don't understand how every manufacturer isn't paying a videographer to capture videos of all their players at events and completely taking care of their media. Didn't think I had to be the person to say it, but those Instagram tournament recaps ain't it. Don't worry, folks. Will does have a solution.
It is about winning, number one. And then on Monday morning, you have to be out there grinding and almost vlogging the whole time and promoting the person who is paying you. And you need to be saying, you should pay me to promote your product because people are buying your discs in the store. I'm telling them to go buy your discs. You need to make videos. You got to do reviews. You got to have people follow you and promote it. I would hire somebody to follow me around, film what you're doing. If you can make 3 videos a week and post online about it, that shows a really big value from a player to a company. Like, that is a huge deal. And it's hard to do. It's really, I know you know.
Will is really starting to sound like the dude in the group project that does absolutely nothing, then just slaps his name on it for a good grade, which feels weird because it's Prodigy. Such a tone-deaf take. How do you expect players to pay someone to produce content for them? I also think that Will is flat out wrong about posting videos that aren't high quality and that there just needs to be more content. Here's some examples he gives.
Creating some people to just follow you on your journey of being a professional disc golfer. What is it besides just selling a disc? You're training, you're practicing, course reviews, playing doubles, competition. Like, it doesn't have to be fully edited, professionally produced content for people to want to want to like it and watch it. Like they like organic stuff.
Ezra Aderhold has over 70,000 subscribers, and when he posted a video nearly identical to what Will was describing, it performed significantly worse than his typical videos. People that have no idea how social media works want to believe they know what the audience wants to see, usually said by people who don't make content themselves. How ironic. In 2025, YouTube is a job. It's no longer a hobby your grandma can just pick up. Not saying players can't post bonus content for their diehard fans. All I'm saying is it shouldn't be expected to all of a sudden start pulling crazy views. Yes, totally possible. It does happen. But unless there's an actual passion to make content, it either lacks genuine personality or slowly stops being posted once those millions of views don't roll in. I guarantee if Discraft hired a videographer, there would be an AB Luna battle at every event. Also would easily get tens of thousands of views. Instead, we get one whenever he can make a friend hold his iPhone. Now, thankfully for Discraft, they do a really good job at other aspects of marketing. Just look around at any course and spot the jerseys. However, if Prodigy made practice round videos behind the scenes of players and more well-produced content by professionals, it would perform much better than saying, hey, go make a video just to post something. Basically, what I'm saying is we don't need any more of this. Bob Giulio went on the Tour Life podcast to share Discraft's perspective. But of course, Brodie has to speak first.
Will was kind of pushing like people should be doing like what I'm doing, right? And I kind of pushed back by saying, no, there's a lot of people that like suck on camera. There's a lot of people that would be terrible on a podcast. There's a lot of people that they're really good at disc golf. That's what they should kind of lean into. If a new player came up, are you telling them like, hey, you need to make a YouTube channel, you need to be making content, or are you more saying, hey, just keep getting really good at disc golf?
No, we interview the player and we see what their strengths and weaknesses are, and we carve out a path of where we think the most growth for them would be on the company and where they can make the most money, honestly. So there's some players where I would say they probably don't need a YouTube channel. They need to try to get on Brodie's YouTube channel or get on Ezra's YouTube channel, and that's a fun aspect to seeing what someone could do. But there's no expectation of like, Presnell, you better start doing all these videos or else we're cutting you and we're not getting our ROI. Yeah. But we didn't pick up Presnell to be that. There's a place for someone like Andrew Presnell. He's our workhorse. We know he's going to probably win a big tournament, and there's a spot for him. Is he selling discs like you, Brodie, where you're out there and you're, talking about stuff and putting yourself out there? No, I mean, he's not, but he also grinds and wins tournaments, and there's a huge value to that. So, you just give him a contract that fits accordingly and what you'll get back out of that. And everybody gets a different deal depending on what they bring to the table with Discraft. So I don't know if all companies do that.
Slightly different approach, but wait, it gets better as well as more responsibilities players need in order to put the company on their back.
When somebody's like, hey, thanks for being my sponsor, and they kind of move on and go to the next thing, that does not, I mean, at the end of the day, that just doesn't translate to sales. You're not going to get somebody say, oh, just Prodigy.
I'm confused. What more does a player have to do other than say thank you? Oh, besides winning the tournament using those discs, what better advertisement is being on coverage making the plastic look good? To then ask for more is insane. What do you want them to do? Ask someone in the crowd to record on their phone to get some clips for Instagram? At least Brodie was there to speak some sense into the podcast.
Do you think there's more onus on the actual company?
Your brother Ezra signing with Discraft. They put out some videos, and it felt like, oh, finally, like promotion. And in one YouTube video, I feel like they did more for Ezra Robinson in terms of marketing than Prodigy did in the entirety of the lifespan with them.
Not sure why that needed to be said out loud, but I guess I'm glad it finally was. A player can only do so much before we start blaming the manufacturer.
I think the new opportunities comes in when you have a company that people like. People really enjoy supporting Latitude and throwing Latitude, and
other companies suck.
Yeah.
Like there's like they're like I would never. Yes, they're like I will never. I will never.
How many times does the community have to express not liking Prodigy before we see a big switch? I don't see it happening anytime soon because Will is still in denial based on that response. Even Isaac said fans wanted to support him but couldn't get themselves to buy those discs.
I would get comments or messages all the time. They'd be like, I want to buy your disc. I want to support you in some way. But if you weren't with Prodigy, that'd be great.
Although Will has a different perspective on Tour Series discs.
Getting people to throw the disc, like at the end of the day, the company doesn't function if that sponsored player does not help your company sell more discs. Like it just, that's what the sponsorship is for.
To be fair, wasn't Will the head of sales or something for Prodigy? He probably knows best. The biggest takeaway I hope you get from this video is that just telling players to do better at social media is stupid. Sure, ask them to share, like, comment, or whatever, but to say, hey, go make 3 YouTube videos a week is straight up delusional. Saying that is neglecting to acknowledge the work it takes to make good videos. Or you're expecting players just to post slot because boomers in the sport hear the social media buzzwords and run with it. It shouldn't be expected from professional athletes to know how to Instagram. I promise it would not be expensive to hire some 20-year-old disc golf fanatic to capture enough content for all your players each weekend. By the way, I say that being a 23-year-old disc golf fanatic that did that for 9 months. Players need content surrounding them. That's just a fact. But to put that all on them is an insane thought process, especially from the CEO of a company. At least they took an opportunity on Broderick. And no fault to his own, but look at those views compared to MVP. If it needed to be said any louder, Prodigy is not popular. As a brand, they need to do something to change that. And to say any bit of the blame is on the players is dumb. Their good play can only take them so far. But with proper promotion, could become a superstar. Maybe if Isaac won 3 world championships, they would have made more than 5 videos with him. Before someone fact checks that, I don't count commemorative disc releases. And while you're looking at the video titles, can we talk about how horrible they are? Such good concepts, all the waste because of improper marketing. That's what we call Prodigy, folks. I'm hoping the brand can do a full 180 this year, and that's genuine. You won't find a bigger Luke Humphreys and Gavin Rathbun fan than me. And I've watched the damn Shoestrings documentary more times than Nico has domains. Here's a good first step. Hire someone who will be on tour, record, and edit all the videos for Prodigy. Make sure they are proficient in social media, or at least kind of know what's going on. If you can get, I don't know, let's say 3 videos a week, I guarantee the brand image can be revived. I say that as long as someone else is doing everything, because there needs to be a complete shift if you want to be successful. Okay, that's enough Prodigy for one day. You guys should be proud I did this whole thing without talking shit about the stupid naming scheme. Sorry, couldn't go the whole video without saying something. Make sure to let us know in the comments below if you think Prodigy can bounce back or if it's too late. You know what's never too late? To hit that subscribe button. What the hell are you waiting for at this point?